Welcome everyone to Black Man Speak. I'm your co-host, the amazing DJ Stewart.
And I'm your co-host, D. Tommy D. Duncan III, otherwise known as TD3. It is Wednesday, July the 31st, the last Wednesday of the month. And if it is Wednesday night,
It's certainly Black Men Speak. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when shows are uploaded, which is every Wednesday at 9 p.m. after our show ends. And subscribe to our channel to help our algorithm numbers. And let's give a shout out to Liquid for providing our theme music. Although next week we will have a new theme song, Tom. So it's just coming out of the studio. But I know
cool.
we have a packed show that is gender field. So we're going to do what we do best, which is bring you the leading information and news, progressive news about the Black community that we can find. So with that being said, Tom, like I said, let's do what we do best, which is bring information to our watching and faithful, loyal viewers.
All right, let's go ahead and bring it. All right, folks, we're going to start out with our birthday babies for this week. A couple of faces that you will probably know, and a couple of interesting characters, and maybe someone that may bring a little history to you. So first and foremost, we've got on today, July the 31st, a face that if you've been in the movies for a while, you probably know this guy, Wesley Trent Snipes.
Wesley, okay.
Absolutely. His birthday is today. He's made films across a variety of different genres, including thrillers, dramatic feature films, and comedies, though he's probably best known, of course, for his action films. He's been actually, and you probably know this, Jimmy, but he's been training in martial arts since the age of 12.
Yes, I like his martial arts action movies.
Yeah,
especially the Vampire Slayer. What was that? Go ahead.
Earning a fifth Dan Black belt in Shotokan Karate and a second Dan Black belt in Hapkido. He was nominated for the Independent Spirit Award for Best Supporting Male Actor for his work in The Water Dance in 1992 and won the Volpe Cup for the Best Actor for his performance in the film One Night Stand. Born in Florida, Snipes started his acting career in the 1980s with one episode appearance in the soap opera All My Children. I didn't see it, didn't even realize he was in All My Children. And his first film roles were in 1986 in The Wildcats and The Streets of Gold, but he had prominent roles in the 90s, starring New Jack City.
Yes, of course, which is where this picture is from.
There you go. White Men Can't Jump, Passenger 57. I remember that. Rising Sun, Demolition Man, and the U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed that one. In 1998, he was cast as Blade in the superhero film series from Marvel Comics, and also formed the production company Amon-Ra Films in 1991, and as a subsidiary, Black Dot Media, to develop projects for film and television. You know, it's interesting. I remember seeing Amon-Ra Films, but I did not know it was him.
I didn't know either, but I'm glad that he's taken his money, wealth, and influence to do something positive, which is produce Black content. But on top of that, I think I've seen all of his movies. I enjoy him as an actor in the comedy roles and serious roles. I know he got into a little trouble with taxes a while back and had to serve a little time in prison, but hopefully that has not set him back in his overall development of what he's doing. So, well, happy birthday, Wesley. You're a great actor.
He was just taking that time to write some new scripts. He said the government probably hadn't been doing anything for him anyway. So all that being said, happy birthday, Wesley. We wish you the best. Hope you're having a great time. Next, I'd like to introduce another sister that some of you may or may not know, but a very talented young lady who is a dancer and an actress whose birthday is on August the 1st, Jennifer Jones. Now, for those of you who may not know this sister, in 1987, she became the first African-American Radio City Music Hall Rockette. At 20 years of age, she auditioned for the Radio City Music Hall Rockette at a Rockettes open call, made the cut, and became the first African-American Rockette in the company's 62-year history. New interesting news to me. So the RCMH, the Radio City Rocket Dance Team, you have to be somewhere between 5'6" and 5'10" be proficient in ballet, tap, and jazz repertoire. She had 15 years of career with the Rockettes, including national tours and televised events, retiring in 2002 and joining the Rocket Alumni Association. This
The
ended.
face looks familiar, Tom.
Yeah, well, on the most part, they're really not known for their face because most of them look like, until she came along, they're really known for their legs. This ending a long-standing Radio City Music Hall policy of not, she broke, hiring African American dancers for the chorus line because of what I would consider to be a misplaced, homogenous prejudice of color and talent that was established originally in 1925 by Russell E. Marquette, the founder of the Rockettes. In 2016, Jones was honored by the Harlem School of Arts with a world premiere tribute called the Harlem City Music Dance Spectacular, written and directed by Aubrey List II, the school's dance director. Again, birthday on August the 1st, which is tomorrow. So early happy birthday to this talented young lady. And of course, we hope she has a fantastic birthday.
Listen, Tom, the way they do those kicks over and over and over, that's no easy task, man. You got to be in some great shape to do that for a couple of hours. All the routines they do. Whew.
And I mean, the hallmark is everybody being on sync. And when you think of that many women being completely synchronized, I mean, you look at the Olympics, they have synchronized swimming, now they have synchronized diving. To have that many of any sort, people being completely synchronized and dancing, absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, it is. Happy birthday.
All right. Our next birthday baby comes on August the 2nd. Another superstar. Some of you may or may not know, but if you're into Olympics and swimming, you may know this face. Simone Manuel, who is a professional swimmer, she won 2 gold medals and 2 silver medals at the 2016 Rio Olympics, winning gold in the 100-meter freestyle and the 4x100-meter medley, and a silver in the 50-meter freestyle and the 4x100.
Isn't she French?
No, she's American.
I thought so. Well, I think she was French. Okay.
No, she became the first African-American woman to win an individual Olympic gold in swimming and set an Olympic record and an American record in swimming. At the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, she won a bronze medal as the anchor for the American 4x100-meter freestyle relay team. She also holds 3 world records as a member of the relay team and a 6-time individual NCAA Division I women's swimming and diving champion, becoming one of the first 3 African-American women to place in the top 3 spots in the 100-yard freestyle event in any Division I NCAA swimming championship.
So, Tom, you mean to tell me she got into the pool and wasn't concerned about her hair?
I guess not, Jimmy. I guess not.
Okay.
From
Happy birthday.
From 2014 to 2018, she attended Stanford University, where she swam for the Stanford Cardinal and helped Stanford win the NCAA team championship in women's swimming, and in diving in 2017 and 2018. After entering Stanford in 2014, she became a member of the Stanford Cardinal women's swimming team, and she broke school records in the 5100 and the 200-yard freestyle. So she is obviously a sister who has broken a lot of records and is one to be reckoned with, Jimmy. So she has a birthday coming up in a couple of days. So we definitely want to wish her an early happy birthday, Miss Simone Manuel.
Yes.
All right, Jimmy. On the other side, we have a couple of prayers and condolences to go out to some families. I mean, we haven't had a lot of folks who've transitioned, Jimmy, but I guess over the last couple of weeks, they say they come in multiples of 3, and we've got to share 3 tonight. Jimmy, you might know this debonair gentleman Abdul Duke Fakir. He was one of the last surviving original members of the Four Tops, the beloved Motown group. Died this past Monday at his home in Detroit, Michigan. He was 88 years old. According to a family spokesperson, he died of heart failure, being surrounded by his family and friends during his last couple of minutes. He co-founded the Four Tops in 1953 and had been struggling with bladder cancer and had retired from touring just last year. But of course, the Four Tops as a group, they were among the greatest. They were among Motown's most popular and enduring acts, peaking in the 1960s. And between 1964 and 67, they had 11 top 20 hits and 2 number ones. I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch. I know everybody has
classics, greatness.
Of course,
I have quite a bit of their music. It's part of my collection, but most of my collection is from the 60s when they made real music. But yeah, I have quite a bit of the Four Tops. I mean, this is royalty.
Yep.
You can't complete a music collection without including these brothers.
Yep. And of course, you probably also remember the song I'll Be There.
Yeah.
Yep. That was, of course, a Tops hit, in addition to Baby I Need Your Lovin'. That was one of my favorites. Standing in the Shadows of Love and Bernadette. So we definitely want to extend our condolences to the family, understanding that he definitely lived a very long and full life. I mean, I think the life expectancy for Black men, at least in America, is 69 years old. So he definitely blew that one out of the water.
Did we get up to 69, Tom?
We're down. We're at 69 right now, Jimmy. Because
barely able to get full Social Security for a year.
Yep.
After you paid into it for damn near 70 years, you end up dying before you get your money out of it. So, what a system.
Yep. I think the government's actuaries actually know that, Jimmy, and I think that's why they massage those numbers and continue to move it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's 67 and a half now. They talk about 70. If they push it up to 70, Tom, we're going to totally be outplaced.
Yep. So work all your life and then give it back to the government.
Give it to white women.
All right. Our next condolence goes out to the Powell family. For those of you probably know this beautiful face, Miss Alma Johnson Powell, the wife of the late Secretary of State Colin Powell, passed just this past week at the age of 86. The Powells were married for 60 years. 2 of them actually met on a blind date in 1961, shortly after he was deployed to Vietnam as a military advisor. Colin Powell later rose to, of course, become the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under George H.W. Bush, and then Secretary of State during the George W. Bush administration. At the time of her passing, Mrs. Powell was listed as Chair Emeritus of America's Promise Alliance, a nonprofit founded by Colin Powell, her husband, seeking to help at-risk youth. She has also served on the Board of Trustees of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, was on President Barack Obama's Board of Advisors on Historically Black Colleges and Universities from 2010 to 2012, and was the advisor for the Red Cross of the Military District of Washington during her husband's tenure as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And so definitely condolences to the Powell families for the loss of the matriarch in their family.
Okay.
All right. And last, definitely not least, a younger person, young sister who passed surprisingly to a lot of people this past week by the name of Erica Ash. She was an actress and comedian known for her roles on Mad TV and Real Husbands of Hollywood. She passed at the tender age of 46, Jimmy, after a long fight with cancer. She transitioned peacefully, surrounded by her loved ones and family. She was born on September 19th, 1977 in Florida, but grew up in the Decatur, Georgia area, attended Emory University studying pre-med, but decided to take a year off in Japan before medical school. And while there, she actually had the opportunity to sing as a backup singer for a Japanese singer, and that got her entertainment career started. From there, she landed a role in the 14th season of Mad TV. Her breakout came in 2013 as Bridget Hart on the parody show Real Husbands of Hollywood. Her film projects also include Scary Movie 5. I don't think I saw that one. I saw the other first 4. And the Netflix film, We Have a Ghost. And so our condolences to Erica Ash's family, her loved ones, and those, of course, who enjoyed her talent on the small screen.
All right.
So those are our condolences for this week, Jimmy. Now we're going to go ahead. We got a couple of folks on the chat line. We want to make sure that we acknowledge Miss Celia Reese. Good evening. Glad to have you there,
Miss in the house.
Exactly. Hailing from Jamaica, man. And then we got our good brother, the Frederick V. Roberts Esquire. Good evening to you as well, my good brother. Of course, hailing from the Bahamas. Okay. Oh, he said President Barack Obama's birthday is on August the 4th. So he has a birthday coming up as well. I guess that's going to be this weekend, I guess on Sunday. And then we have my good cousin, Miss Audrey K. Booker. Thank you for joining us tonight and getting on the chat line as well. So I'm pretty sure we'll have a couple of other folks going on. But until then, and before we move on to our stories, Jimmy, it's time for the music competition, folks.
Yeah.
So Jimmy is going to play an a cappella song, version of a song, and you have to identify the artist of record and the formal name of the track. And you get 1 point if you get either of them. You get both points if you are the first to get both. But you have to be the first to get the artist and or the name of the track.
So I've heard the cries from a lot of our viewers, and so I think we're going to relax the strictness a little bit. So we're going to put it into the hands of our judge, because some people say they're typing so fast, they may miss a letter here, a fat finger, or an answer. But although they have the answer and they got it right, but they feel they should be penalized because they fat finger the response. So I'm going to leave that up to you. If you can make out and understand what they're typing, and you say it's okay.
So what you're trying to say is if they type in Ebonics, that's okay.
No, that's not going to work. But if the artist is Michael Jackson and you leave off a C or an H or something, or leave off an L because you're typing so fast, okay, I'll put a T in. Okay, if you recognize the response and that they had and know what they're talking about, then we'll accept that. But what we can't do is fudge on the title of the song. So we need the song as complete as possible. You can't be missing a word or two here and there, or use the assumed name or the common name as opposed to the actual name. So we can deal with some misspellings, a fat finger, the answer, but it needs to be something that our judge can recognize as the answer.
All right. Otherwise, we're going to provide. We're going to give them a little leniency.
Yes. And then the other thing is that after the song plays, we'll generally wait about 30 seconds. But at some point, when the judge calls time, that means no more responses at that point. So if you enter something after Tommy says time, then we won't consider your response. So we're not going to be taking answers all the way through the show with people still typing in, thinking they have a chance to get points. So here we go on our first Tom. And both these artists you should know. This is not anyone that you should know. So here we go. First song.
Call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. When you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
right. So it looks like we don't need to do 30 seconds because we've already got some folks who have typed in their information. First, we've got the first person to get the name right, and I want to make sure that we got it. There we go. Okay. The first person to get the name right was cousin Audrey K. Lean on me. So she got the name right. Now, okay, who put Lou Rawls in there? If you know Lou Rawls, you know that was not Lou Rawls. Okay, that was not Lou Rawls.
Oh man. Now I like Lou, but yeah, that's definitely not Lou Rawls.
I'm not gonna even call his brother's name out because we're good friends. I'm not gonna call his name out, but that was not Lou Rawls. Okay. All right. And the first person to get the name right was Uncle Asar.
Uncle Asar, okay.
Yeah, Uncle Asar, he got the name. He was the first person to get the name right, which was Bill Withers. And Bill, man, he was, because Bill just passed a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. God rest his soul. So let me go ahead and write this down. And
congratulations to Uncle Asar and who's the other winner?
Audrey K.
Audrey, okay, cousin Audrey.
All right, good deal. All right, folks. Well, we of course having a good time. What? Wait, okay.
What?
Jimmy, I'm not gonna call him out, but somebody said Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
Ben
I
Carson.
don't think he did things, does he?
Ben Carson can't even sing. Now,
they just mess with you, Tom.
He got gifted heads, but he can't even sing. I ain't gonna call him out. That's okay.
they just messing with you, man. Okay. I'm not even sure Ben Carson can sing.
No, Ben Carson can sing. He can split two Siamese split twins, but I don't think he can sing. I ain't never heard him sing. Probably a good thing we haven't heard him sing. All right, Jimmy, let's go ahead and get to our stories because we've got some stories, some juicy stories today. Before we do that, let's go ahead and start with what everybody's been watching at least over the last close to week, which of course are the Olympics in Paris, the Paris Olympics. Jimmy, I know that you've been checking it out. I've been checking it out as well. Jimmy, we've had some pretty interesting highlights that I want you and I to share. And I want to get actually the audience's feedback on the chat line, what they have enjoyed and what would their highlights of the Olympics be thus far. We're only, I think, 4 days in right now. And we've got the United States, I think, has the most medals. The last count I had, Jimmy, was a total of 30 medals. 17 of those 30 medals were in the swimming category.
Right.
France has 26 in second place, and China has the third most medals in 19. But China actually has the most gold medals. China has 9 medals, and then France and Japan are tied for second place with 8 gold medals. But let's hear your thoughts about what you've enjoyed most about the Olympics.
We should have from the women's gymnastic, which is I think 5 medals, and then the 2x200, the 4x200 freestyle women, they won the championship. That's another 4 medals. So we should have at least 9. We should be up there in the medal count also for his goals.
Yeah, we're not. Well, did those just happen today?
They happened. Well, I saw them on YouTube yesterday. So
I actually checked this out today on the Paris Olympics website, but maybe they didn't have an accurate update. But I went to their website.
Gotcha. All right. So you have to watch the women, the 200 by 4, the 4x200 freestyle. We were projected to come in second, maybe third. But the third leg, which is a surprise, that's the swimmer. I think her name is Levecki. Her name. I may not be pronouncing it correct, but Tom, she had an amazing leg, fastest she'd ever swim. That put America in the lead, where the anchor was a 16-year-old girl who brought it home. So they took In fact, they set a championship record. So it wasn't a world record, but it was a meet record for the 4x200. You have to watch it. I mean, it's an amazing thing to watch. The effort that they put in, all the suspense, the cheering for your team, to watch it come so close. And everyone's thinking the Chinese and the Australians and the British were going to walk away with this. But for us, it's still a victory away from them. So this goes to show you can never count the Americans out.
This is true. And I will say that one of the more exciting things, if you haven't already seen it thus far, and I'm not a big rugby fan, but I am a big football fan. And the women's rugby team, the U.S. women's rugby team, pulled out a completely last-minute win against the Australian team to bronze medal, not gold, but it was literally the last play, I'll call it, of the women's rugby gold match up
That's
with
their
Australia.
sport.
Huh?
That is their sport.
Yeah,
You tell
that is
them
their
we
sport.
beat them in their sport, that'd be like the men's basketball team or the girls' basketball team losing.
And I'm trying to tell you, Jimmy, this was literally, they had less than a minute left in the game, and they started running around. They started pitching the ball around, and what makes it even more dramatic is that the U.S. women's team was on literally the equivalent of their 2-yard line. For those of you who watch football, and they started throwing the ball around. The sister threw it to this other lady's hands, and she ran over somebody, Australian woman. She ran over her and literally trucked it all the way down the field, almost 100 yards, and scored. And then they kicked the extra point. And this was the key. The Australian women, right before that series, had ran for a touchdown, and they missed the extra point. And when the U.S. women's team scored their touchdown, they made the extra point, and they literally won by 1 point.
The extra point made the difference.
The extra point made the difference.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy.
I have to go see if I can catch that.
Yeah. Just look at the bronze match for women's rugby. I thought that was pretty exciting. We've got thus far women's. We got one person who said their favorite was women's gymnastics. That was in men's gymnastics by Monsieur Noor. That is Seth L. And what else do we got on here? I think
the men got the silver or the bronze as a team, I believe.
Gymnastics, they got the bronze. They won the bronze. And I think this is the first time they've even medaled in 4 Olympics.
I was going to say, Tom, generally not much is expected from the men's team in gymnastics. So for them
this was the first time they've medaled.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, to get any medal. And this is the first time in 4 Olympics that they've medaled. And they've got this young brother that you have got to watch out for in the future. University of Michigan stand out. And brother was just out there doing it, helping to lead the team. But the men's gymnastics team actually won bronze. And there's a gentleman by the name of Frederick Richard from the University of Michigan. He is the second from the left, and he was the emotional leader of that team. They all did an outstanding job, but he's only 20 years old, Jimmy. And he is going to be someone that you're going to need to watch out for the next Olympics.
So unlike the women, the men can generally go compete into their 20s. It is unheard of for the women to be in their 20s to still compete. So, and there's your girl Simone.
Until you have the GOAT, Jimmy, and I believe the GOAT is 27 years old.
Tom, she looks the same size as when she was 14 years old. Ain't like she gained 1 pound since then.
Simone Biles, Jimmy, she has been the rock, for the last couple of Olympics, Jimmy, and today this Olympics was no different. And what makes it even more dramatic, Jimmy, is that she actually tweaked her ankle a couple of days ago and was noticeably limping, but when it came time to perform,
she still brought it, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Excuses. I mean, basically, no excuses. And she gave an interview where she said she's well aware of injuries. She has a husband now, have a dog. She has incentives to stay healthy and not hurt herself, which is can be frightening also. But when push came to shove, Tom, she did what she had to do, and she got it done.
Yeah, absolutely, Jimmy. And just she has reset the bar. I believe she has 4 or 5 different moves that have been named for her already, and they were talking about they were going to be adding possibly another complicated routine that they were going to be naming after her. So it's just she has completely reset the bar for women's gymnastics.
Well, on the beam, she has a move where she's on kind of on one foot and she has the other leg kind of stretched out, and then she does that pirouette move. Uh, but I've seen other gymnasts try to do that, but they only do one turn, and she does 2. So, yeah, that's I'd imagine 2 is a lot more complicated to maintain your balance than just trying to do 1. So, but yes, that move is named after her. She has a couple of moves that are named after her. And then she still has several moves, Tom, that no other women have attempted that she's completed. So,
gotcha. And the other event, Jimmy, that I want to give a shout out, which is something that you don't typically or traditionally see us doing, is fencing, Jimmy.
fencing.
Fencing, Jimmy. So we've got. No, I'm not saying a sister. I'll put it this way: a sister. There's a young lady by the name of Lauren Scruggs who actually was a silver medalist in women's fencing. She was a senior at Harvard University, coming up to be a senior at Harvard University this fall. Stood in shock, literally in shock, with zero expectations for this upcoming Olympic Games. Yet she stands there with the silver medal, having only lost to the number 1 player or the number 1 fencing, who is a U.S. fencer as well, who won the gold. She etched her name in history this past Sunday by becoming the first African-American woman to win an Olympic fencing medal. The 21-year-old from Queens, New York, native captured the silver in the individual foil event at the 2024 Paris Olympics, marking a significant milestone. And she hopes to inspire other young girls to embrace fencing as well. Her journey started at 7 years old, inspired her brother's love for the Star Wars films. And of course, she decided to learn fencing. But she has won in the 2019 and 2022 Junior World Fencing Championship in foil and the 2023 NCAA title. So with her being 20 years old, she has at least 1, possibly 2 Olympics that she'll be competing in.
Tom, that is definitely a sport that I would never have guessed you're going to find a black athlete participating in. You could probably count on one hand the number, probably worldwide, that are participating in fencing. Congratulations to the sister. Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So any other thoughts out there? Anybody else? What did you enjoy most about the Olympics? Okay, Audrey K. Simone did that. Celia Reese. AI has been incorporated into the Olympics. That's an interesting one.
How has AI been incorporated with the judging, or?
That's a good question. So Miss Celia said that AI has been incorporated into the Olympics. And I would be interested in getting her thoughts on that, because that one I was not aware of, but definitely would wait to see her response on that. So with that being said, Jimmy, it is 8:35. We have about a little bit less than half left in our show. So let's go ahead and get to a couple of stories and see.
Sure. What else do we have?
All right, Jimmy. Well, a lot of you may have seen this story recently, but a judge recently overturned a life sentence for a brother in Missouri, overturned the conviction of Christopher Dunn, who had recently spent more than 30 years, I think 34 to be exact.
34 years, Tom.
Yeah,
I
for
think
killing
34.
34 years for killing a man that he had strongly denied he was involved with. He was serving a sentence of life without parole. The St. Louis Circuit Judge Jason Singheiser ruling came several weeks after he presided over a 3-day hearing on Dunn's fate. Dunn, now 52, which means that he has spent his entire adult life in prison, was convicted of first-degree murder in the 1990 shooting of 15-year-old Rico Rogers. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore filed a motion in February seeking to vacate the guilty verdict. But the judge in his ruling wrote that the circuit attorney has made a clear and convincing showing of actual innocence that undermines the basis of Dunn's conviction because, in light of new evidence, no jury acting reasonably and in his right mind would have voted to find Dunn guilty of these crimes beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, Tom, this is not the first finding of innocence for the brother. First of all, after he was convicted, the two witnesses against him recanted their testimony. That was the first thing. And so he's had other trials where the evidence was considered and heard, and the conclusion of the judge in all those previous cases was that he was innocent. But for a technical reason of Missouri law, wasn't able to free the brother, get him out. So it had to be appealed. And the sad thing of it, Tom, is that 34 years of your life, the good part of your life is gone over faulty testimony. And then when people go back and read the records, not only was the testimony very shaky, Tom, I heard other trial lawyers say that there's no other state in America that this conviction would have stood. And you wouldn't be able to convict someone of such faulty evidence where the witnesses were so unreliable. And certainly you can prove that they were sort of coached and coerced into their testimony. And they have written statements, affidavits, they have testified that they lied, that basically they lied. And so the good thing is they at least did their part. They're trying to undo what the damage they've done. But unfortunately, Tom, 34 years of this man's life is gone, and there's really not a provision to allow him to get compensation for the 34 years. So I'm hoping the state of Missouri legislative body put together a bill and to compensate him for the time that he spent wrongly in prison, to do the right thing. I mean, stop standing on trying to get a conviction and fight to Tom, here's the other amazing thing. Even the prosecutor, the new prosecutor, not the original, the new prosecutor looked at it and said, yeah, this case is shaky. I don't think he did. I think he's innocent. So when the prosecutor is arguing for your innocence, and still you remain in jail. So I'm happy that he's out, and I hope the state of Missouri does the right thing, compensate the brother. Although you can't pay, I don't know what you can pay for 34 years of your life, but they should get a brother something to help restore.
And what makes injury on top of insult to this is after they found him innocent and they overturned it, the AG tried to get it reversed to keep him in prison.
Yes. And that was a holdup before. It was always the AG's office. It wasn't the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor who held the case, the second one or the third one, eventually they got new prosecutors. I mean, they were fighting for the innocents, but the state AG was the one who was always opposed.
The Missouri Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, appealed the state's top court to keep Dunn in prison after this travesty, this crime against his brother had been committed.
Tom, so after he had his day in court, was found innocent. Yes, the decision was appealed, and that's why he's been in prison for all this extra time. Because this thing has been had to appeal it to a point where you couldn't appeal it anymore. The next step would be the Supreme Court, and I'm sure they don't want to be bothered with trivial stuff like this. But it's a shame.
Trivial? Somebody.
Well, for the Supreme Court to deal with, they they generally like to handle the disputes between states and the federal government, or between states or between states and the federal government. Generally, they don't get involved with too many death sentences and overturning those. In fact, 95% plus are just rejected by the Supreme Court when you appeal to that level. So they normally don't take or issue a cert to review death sentence kind of cases. So, but I'm glad the brother is out. But I hope the state of Missouri does the right thing. Take that brother, do whatever you can to get his life restored as best you can.
This is a crime. I mean, this is literally a crime. But all that being said, we definitely are glad to see that Mr. Dunn is out of prison, that he can try to put his life back together, his family, his loved ones. And again, this is where we live. This is where we live. So all that being said, let's go to our next story. I think this will be one, Jimmy, that you'll get a kick out of. I know we've, talked about, of course, you're a big charter school supporter, and I was not aware that Jalen Rose, of course, former University of Michigan standout, former NBA great, has had a public charter school for quite a while, and actually this past June was the 10th graduating class of the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, which marks a significant anniversary in the school's history, Jimmy.
So I can respect that. I knew he had one. He talked about it once when he was on ESPN. We used to be a broadcaster there. And we need to do more of this, Tom. We're taking our wealth and our influence and our resources to develop our own schools. We know the public school system is not educating our kids properly. Thomas Sowell has a good book, and we should go read it on charter schools and how much better Black kids perform in charter schools, in private schools, and in for-profit corporation schools that are open to the public. The public schools are just failing us. And so to keep that system in place, to continue to send our kids to public school, knowing how they are failing us, Tom, is a crime. If you're a parent, do everything you can to homeschool, charter school, or find a corporation or for-profit public school to send your child to. If you can afford a private school, do that. But do everything you can to make sure your children are educated. And if you have no other choice but to send them to public school, then make sure you push them to be the best version of themselves in public school they can be. But yeah, congratulations to Jalen for doing the right thing. I wish others would do the same thing.
Yeah, because this brother took his own money, has built partnerships, and actually had his annual fundraising golf tournament this past week in Detroit at the Detroit Golf Club, I think it's called, for his school, which I think has, a little bit over 400 students currently. They have 98 seniors who are graduating, and the public school, the public charter school, was founded in 2011 and is distinguished by its commitment to providing a comprehensive and high-quality education. Jimmy is also voted the fourth best open enrollment. It's an open enrollment school. It was
all
voted
the charter schools are open enrollment. Yes.
Yeah. Fourth best open enrollment high school based upon its exceptional academic programs, dedicated faculty, and student achievement. And if you want to get more information about his charter school, you can go to JRLADetroit.com, JRLADetroit.com to find out more information about this program and what they are doing. And of course, we wish them the best of luck. Our students, unfortunately, sometimes, to your point, Jimmy, don't get the benefit of the doubt, whether they're in public or private schools. But this is, someone who obviously has a passion for investing in our kids and the future of this country.
Well, here's the thing, Tom, is that it may cost a little money to get off the ground, secure a building, but once you get the enrollment, you get the same funding from the state that public schools receive. Whatever they pay, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 per child per year, the charter schools get that money also. So if you can invest enough to get it started, bring in the right teachers, the administrators to run the school. But generally, if you look at the stats, our kids do much better in charter school when compared to the public school. They do much better in private school or homeschooling than public schools. Public schools are the sewer of education. I wouldn't send my dog in some of these schools because the quality of education is so poor. Uh, but you shouldn't either unless you absolutely have no choice. If that's going to be the case, make sure your kids go there and demand that their teachers teach them something and they get everything they can out of the system.
Absolutely. All right, Jimmy, it is 8:45. It is now time to do our second song contest for the evening. And so the same rules apply. And we will now see what folks say for the second song.
Okay, same rules. Artist of record, be the first to type in the name or the name of the song or the artist of record. And then after the song finishes playing, generally about 30 seconds afterwards, if no one's got the answer right, the judge will call time, and that'll be no more entries after that point. So here we go, Tom, with our second song.
All righty, let's go.
Yes, I did. But I guess you didn't know. As I said, the story goes. Baby, now I got the flow. Listen, cause I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I win. Break it down. Your life would win. All those times I said that I loved you. Your life would win. Yes, I tried. Yes, I tried. Your life would win. Even though you know I died for you. Your life would win. Yes, I cried. Yes, I cried.
All right, we got 30 seconds, folks. 30 seconds. All right.
Now, if you swing out, I know you've heard this song. If you swing out, it's a swing out classic, Tom. Just
all right. Still waiting to. We've got a couple of folks on the name of the track. We'll see if it's right. We'll see if it's right. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, ding, 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 ding. We are out of time. And it looks like the first person who actually got the name of the song was Uncle Asar.
all right. Look at Uncle Sar, man, acting up.
With Return of the Mac, but nobody got the name. It was Mark Morrison.
Okay.
So I guess everybody knew the name of the song, but nobody knew the actual artist of record. So we get no points for the artist.
One hit wonder, Tom.
Wait a minute. Charlie Pride.
Not Charlie Pride. Charlie
I'm not going to call out who said Charlie Pride either.
I think they ghosted you, Tom. Was he a one-hit wonder, Tom?
I think so. Oh, you
Okay.
know what? I'm sorry. I'm not going to call out this other person, even though I love him a lot. Somebody said Kim. We know that ain't no Kim.
No, that's not Kim, but it's similar styles. You know, Kim got that smooth sound too. And then you often hear Kim, if you swing out, Kim is a favorite. This song, Return of the Mac, is a favorite among swing out groups. But yeah, definitely not Kim.
It wasn't Kim. It wasn't Charlotte Pride. I'm not gonna say who it was. Just like I didn't say that I ain't gonna pimp on who said it was Lou Rawls.
To keep guessing. So to keep the injuries going, you never know. You may luck up.
I ain't gonna pimp on who said that Bill Withers. They thought that Bill Withers was Lou Rawls. I ain't gonna pimp on who said they thought that Bill Withers was Ben Carson.
Okay.
I ain't gonna pimp on none of them. But let me make
But
sure
the
we got.
issues are in the chat for everyone to see, Tom. So
Let me see who else we got on the chat line. We got Miss Tanya. Yo, what's going on, Miss Tanya on the chat line a little bit earlier. Oh, okay. I see what happened. So she, Miss Tanya said Ben Carson, then Withers underneath that. So she got the last name wrong.
oh, okay.
Okay, so I okay. See, I wasn't gonna pimp on her. You know, I wasn't gonna pimp on her. But now since she just accidentally she had a, what do you call it when you get the numbers wrong or get them switched out?
Dyslexic.
There you go. She was dyslexic on the last name, so I'm gonna go ahead and give her a pass. But the other people ain't gonna give a pass. Don't nobody sound like Lou Rawls on any of these songs.
Oh, man, Lou got a golden voice.
Nor Charlie Pride either. All right, Jimmy. Let's get our last story in, and then
Yeah,
we
Tom.
got something controversial. Facebook, actually Meta. So for those of you, most of you should probably know this by now, but Meta just recently settled on a $1.4 billion lawsuit with the state of Texas in a privacy lawsuit over allegations that the tech giant used biometric data of users without their consent. The largest settlement secured by a single state in history of record that we know of. In 2021, a judge approved a $650 million settlement with Meta over similar charges in Illinois, but the Texas lawsuit filed in 2022 said that Meta was in violation of a Texas state law that prohibits capturing or selling biometric information such as face or fingerprints. The only larger claim is the Federal Trade Commission's $5 billion settlement was made in 2019. And thus far, they paid over $2 billion in settlements over privacy claims. The company announced in 2021 that it was shutting down its facial recognition and deleting the face prints of more than 1 billion people. Did that really happen? I don't know. And this is, unfortunately, Jimmy, even if they decided whatever, Meta made 12 billion in the last quarter and 12 billion in profits, over the last quarter, and 36 billion in revenue over the last quarter. So, this is just a drop in the bucket for them. But this is serious business. This is serious business.
What is, with all the data centers that they have,
Mhm.
all the servers, all of the disk space they have, backup servers, what in the world is ever really deleted in social media? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. You take it off one server, so what? You got 20 more backup servers with that data backed up somewhere. So you can't tell me that they could, if they wanted to, all 1 billion face images that they've captured by really taking advantage of your camera without your consent, taking your picture, and probably listening in and doing some other stuff also. This is why I have switched off of Google and went to DuckDuck, and we don't get any advertisement or money from DuckDuck as a sponsor. But Tom, it's amazing how I ordered some stainless steel tables for a mobile restaurant I'm putting together, and I get advertisements on YouTube. Everywhere I go, that's on Google, I get stuff for stainless steel tables now. If I do a search, you go out to Google and do a search on a Rolls Royce, and then go to Facebook, go to YouTube, and see how that follows you instantly. Tom, it's not like they wait till tomorrow to crunch all this. They pretty much know very quickly. And so if they can do that with limited data from a search engine, imagine what they've been doing, capturing images off your camera. And this is why people put black tape over their built-in cameras, because they can activate it without you knowing it. And they can activate your mic and listen in without you knowing it. So there's no telling how much data they've collected. And for them to say they've deleted it, I don't believe it. And $1 billion drop in the bucket to a $12 billion a quarter, not a year. $12 billion a year would be great for some multinational companies, but $12 billion a quarter, tell us to drop in the bucket. I'm sure they're going to miss it, but they're not going to miss it. It's not going to bankrupt them.
True, Jimmy. And the reality of it is, for all of these free services, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. And it's like, oh, it's great. It's free. You got all these services. You connect with it. Well, they make their money by selling you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're the product. All your demographics, where you're going, your face prints, every place that you go, what you buy, they sell that data and make billions and billions of dollars. And so that's the thing that people have to be aware of. That is their business model.
Well, Tom, I do use Google Map and I do use a locator service, not because I'm happy about them tracking every place I go and I leave home. I mean, I wherever I go, it's not an hour later that I get a text message saying that you were here, you were there. But I do that in case I'm ever wrongly accused of being somewhere that I wasn't, that I go back to the data and say, hey, look, Google tracked me to Walmart. This is where I was. And they can tell you exactly when I went in and when I left and when I came home. So I do it for that purpose, but I'm not happy that they're able to pinpoint my activity, Tom, with that degree of accuracy that they have. But that's the only reason I turned that locator service on my cell phone with Google Maps for that reason. And if you're concerned about ever being wrongly accused, you may want to do it also. But yeah, they track all your data, all your personal data. They collect as much as they can. Your birthday, your social security numbers, what you're buying, where you go, anything you order online is instantly shared with the world. Things you're searching for, especially consumer items, are shared. And they say they do that so they can target the marketing to you, but they do it so they can sell the information to would-be suppliers who your business. It's a money thing. It's not a we're doing this for you kind of a thing.
No, they're doing that for them.
And for $12 billion a quarter, yeah, they're doing it quite well.
Absolutely. One interesting thing that I'd like to go back to our original conversation, and we'll make this real quick before we wrap up. We were talking about the Olympics a little bit earlier, and Jimmy, we were having this conversation before we jumped online. Monsieur Noor, brother Seth, says he enjoyed everything about the Olympics except for the opening ceremony. There was a little controversy, Jimmy, on the opening ceremony that had to do with the Last Supper image. That some of you may be aware of, some of you may seen, Jimmy, but they transposed the images of some folks who are a little bit different than the folks we're accustomed to seeing at the Last Supper.
Tom, I'm going to say that I'm pretty much sick of these woke folks catering to the alphabet community. I have nothing against the alphabet people. I'm just amazed at how much the world is catering to them and how the hell they gain so much power so quickly. I have some friends, well, used to be friends. They disowned me once they found out I was Republican. But for years, coming to my house, eating my food, watching the football game, and they're a same-sex couple. And so I never had a problem with them. We invited them to our house like anyone else. And so that's on them. But, Tom, this is getting ridiculous. I'm just absolutely fed up with these people. They bring this on themselves. They bring condemnation on themselves by doing this. They should be outraged about this, Tom. This does not improve their image with the rest of the world. Nobody cares about y'all that much. Nobody cares who you marry or love anymore. There are a few people who believe in the sanctity of marriage being between heterosexual couples. But really, we've all had time to get over it and move on. And we have. Y'all keep throwing this crap in our face, making us deal with your lifestyle when we don't want to deal with it. It's not that we reject your lifestyle, which we may do, but so what? We have a right to reject it. You have a right to reject our lifestyle, but we're not throwing our lifestyle in your face all the time to make you, I don't know, whatever straight day, Pride Day is, or straight month is, for you to participate and have to go along with it. But everything you believe in is constantly thrown in our face, and you're forcing us to accept it, whether we want to or not. It's not that we have anything against the alphabet people. We don't. Most people don't care, really. Like, they're just trying to survive and live. But once again, man, I mean, just everywhere we turn, you can't even enjoy the Olympics without this craziness, woke craziness going on to pacify the alphabet people. And I just realize you don't get it.
Well, you
they
know,
millions of dollars for the Olympics to cater to them. So I'm not sure what the damn draw is.
Well, I would say this much. I think where some people took some offense to is when they look at the Last Supper. That is the Last Supper that Jesus the Christ had with his disciples, and people look at being superimposing the images on there. And I didn't see it, so I don't know of everything. But there were some people who were very offended by what they consider to be something that was sacrilegious. When you look at the people who were imposed on that sacred image. Now, all that being said is some other folks might be a little bit offended by the actual correlation between fact as to who those people were, that is Jesus the Christ, and the disciples, who they were in fact versus what their images are projected to be. But with all that being said, there were a lot of people who were very offended by it. And of course, everybody has a right, Jimmy. I know you say that you have a right for freedom of speech and so on and so forth. But of course, that is a very sacred image that people hold very close. And so you've got to be extremely careful.
They have the right to do it, Tom, and to express their viewpoint. And a free speech society, we have to put up with this kind of crap. But I don't like it. But hey, I'm one of those that if you're going to cater to someone, cater to black people. And you be far more accurate projecting the Jesus the Christ as being a black man, being as a trans person. So if you're going to cater to anybody, won't you cater to us every now and then? Put a black Jesus up in the nativity scenes. Let's see what happens. But this just shows how much influence they have. Tom, the Olympic Committee, which is generally made up of people from around the world, you've been able to actually influence them to put this, and no one thought that, hey, maybe this would be a good idea to make fun and poke fun at Christians this way. Maybe we could poke fun at something else to get a point across. I don't know what they're thinking.
I think it's pretty interesting. Got a couple of comments from Audrey K. Said, yes, poor taste. The Last Supper. Amen, amen, JR. Looked like a mockery. And of all things, Jimmy, if you look at the committee that would have approved of this, I mean, by the way, the Olympics are in Paris, France. That being France, one of the so-called Christian countries that used Christianity as one of the major world religions in order to usurp its power and influence, along with its military, by the way, and colonize a significant portion of Africa in order to create its luxury in its benchmark cities. And when you look at the wealth and opulence of most of the European major cities, Paris being one of them, they would not be there without what they use religion in order to usurp its wealth from the continent of Africa. So yeah, I went there. But at the end of the day, in terms of its religious...
That's a valid message if they wanted to put that message out there. How Christianity has been used to rape other nations. How the Pope and the Vatican will give their blessings to nations to go out on voyages and to rape, pillage, and as long as you bring back the gold, the wealth, everything is forgiven. So I understand. So if you want to put that message out there, okay, fine. I may not like it, and Christians may not like it, but that would be more accurate than what they put out there to poke fun. Like I said, you want to put the black Jesus out there, fine. You want to talk about how Christianity and some other religions such as Islam and has corrupted nations and made it about money, fine. Put that message out there if you want to be hip and lead edge.
And it would actually be more factual. People wouldn't like it, but it would be more factual.
I would respect you a little more than the crap they put out. I turned it off. I mean, I started watching like, what the hell is this? And once I realized what it is, I'm like, okay, I'm not watching the rest of this.
Gotcha. All that being said, we have exhausted our time, but I hope that you have enjoyed this show and the content in it. Of course, look forward to another great show next week. We appreciate everybody that came in and enjoyed the conversation. Miss Reese, Brother Freddie Roberts, Miss Audrey K. Booker, Miss Tanya, Who else do we have here that I may? Yeah, Miss Shuranura, there's Brother Seth. And want to make sure that I don't miss anybody else. Yeah, Miss Bosie Scott. Miss Bonnie Scott, thank you for joining us this evening. All right. And I think I have everybody covered for this evening. So y'all come back, bring a fan with you, and let's have some funner time next week. Everybody have a good evening, and thank you for
don't
watching.
Don't forget to pray for me as I overcome my summer cold. So thank you much. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Oh, wait a second. Oh, well, we did have one comment that we missed. Miss Celia said the comment on AI. She said AI is being used to make helping athletes improve, judging fairer, enhancing security, engaging fans, and responsible use of AI. Is AI possibly responsible use? Well, I guess it could be, but we'll see how it works. All right.
Hey guys, I'm gonna tell you, I use AI almost daily. When I put together a speech or a program for mentoring, or even to assist in my writing, it's a great aid for me. So, hey, I have 2 AIs that I pay into. Could put one against the other to compete. So,
well, hey Jimmy, we may have to do a show. We're gonna have to do a show on AI pretty soon.
Okay, let's do that. That'd be good. Now, I'm telling you, for folks out there who want to work from home, there's a lot to be done and money to be made with AI that you get it to do for you. So, and since that's the case and it's available, hey, spend $20 a month to get it and start putting it to work for you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.